You're listening to The Opinion Zone. It's that time again when common sense and decency go out the window and questionable opinions come in. Starring your deranged hosts, Jay Eggman, Sega Scourge, and of course the one and only David the Lurker. Oh,
don't laugh!
And as always, please remember the following show will probably contain strong language. We warned you, so don't complain. Let the chaos control begin.
Come on, let's go. Hey, yo, it's the Sonic Show. Hey, yo, it's the Sonic Show. Hey, yo, it's the Sonic Show.
Let's go.
Hi everyone! This is episode 65 of The Opinion Zone.
69. 69,
65.
guys.
No, it's
69.
65. 65.
69.
My name is Jay Eggman for the first time, and I am joined by David the Lurker.
Oh, hello.
Hello!
Hi,
Who
hello.
expected you to be here? I'm also joined by Sega Scourge.
Hi, everyone. I am Sega Scourge. Hello.
Hi there. So we're all doing good. We're all having drinks, monk sticks. It's all very good. We're having a bad day.
Go
Guys.
get it.
I have a monk stick in my drink.
In
Do
your
you?
drink.
How does that taste?
Tastes like a failed product mixed with alcohol.
Oh, that's a little harsh. I'm sure it's a fantastic product with a monk stick in it.
If I had a hat, I would tip it to you.
Guys, we have a roller coaster of a show for you. Who knows what's gonna happen? Unfortunately, the bumper music, we usually just keep going. So we got like another 2 minutes to chat before we go into the news. So,
Okay.
pad this out as long as we can. Have you guys been up to anything fun?
Well, David, go first.
Oh, earlier I was. I was in a. It was in a stream that 4 people were watching, and I left to join this show.
I hope you told them where to go and leave this stream, join us.
Well, I think the only 4 people who were watching were the people who were on the stream. So, but I mean, it's because it's. Oh, that's a bottle. It's Neo Hazard, a friend of mine. He does the Neo reviews. He is good at what he does. He was just doing an unexpected stream, unadvertised. No one's paying attention because it just happens. You know, not every stream is like 1 million people, but you should check him out anyway.
You should. I went to Brighton this weekend, and I
saw.
bought the complete collection of the Sonic Mega Man Archie thing.
Nice.
Oh, have you read it yet?
Oh no, I don't plan on
Did
it.
you read it back when it came out? Because
Wait, which one do you mean? Do you mean Worlds Collide or Worlds Unite?
Which one was the first one?
Worlds Collide.
That one.
Okay, so the good one then. Okay, good.
Ooh, controversial. And I also bought a Rick and Morty card thing wallet.
Love that
So
show. High five. Morty.
don't ever do
We're
that.
gonna do the thing, Morty. I'm sorry.
You somehow still sound like a younger Morty, despite
You mean Rick?
Rick. Sorry. Despite really going out of your way to make your voice sound haggard.
I know. I'm trying to drink to do the burps as well. Damn it. Gotta down it.
I do think though it's time we move on to the news. We've got so much Muse, the band. We've got so much Muse to talk about. For some, you wouldn't believe it, guys. The news music just isn't loading. Who could have planned this? Right. I think if I click this button, we can do it.
Damn it.
Thank you ever so much.
Bring you the latest news from around the world of Sonic, or whatever Jay could find on Google a half hour ago.
Insert pun I did earlier.
It's time for the Opinion Zone News Corner.
Hilarious.
You won't believe what the first news item is.
Is it the thing that we talk about every single time? That's the first news item.
It is. It's time for Sonic Boom TV ratings. You will never guess how many people watched last week's episode.
Was it 130 something thousand?
How?
I bet it was
God!
1.7 million.
It was 133,000. Scourge, I don't know how you knew.
Well, I mean, he said like something million, and then I said that. I think we had like in between those two. I think we had a good chance. So yeah, that was completely coincidental.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good show. I think, Scourge, you like to comment on how good the writing is, and you enjoy all the meme references and stuff.
I do. Basically, it's my favorite show
There we go.
of Sonic that they've ever released, hands down. Beats all.
Beats all.
Yeah.
So,
Beats me off.
well,
I don't
okay.
recall
Well, that's
that.
a quote for the next DVD.
All right.
Beats
Those
me off.
DVDs.
There, just go.
Coming
Those
out
feelings
in
when
the
you
US
have one
now.
leg folded over the other, and then your balls like stick to your leg. That's what I'm getting right now. And I have to like slowly lift one leg off of the other, and it's like like that as they come apart.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
there was an insight
Is
I
it-
never
is it-
needed.
Is your testicle actually disconnecting from your body at that point? Because that doesn't sound good.
No, it's like leaving at least 7% of it behind on the leg. I'm going by a margin here, but yeah. Anyway, Jamie, continue.
Oh, God. Right. I think we've talked enough about Sonic Boom.
I think so.
So let's...
One.
Because I know how much we all love talking about Sonic Boom. So shall we move on to our next news item?
Yes.
Here we go.
Whoa!
Someone in the Discord chat says stop talking about your balls in all caps.
But it's so much more interesting than talking about Sonic.
No, talking about Sonic Boom.
Right. I think Nicole is regretting many life decisions right now.
Talking of Sonic Boom, more Sonic Boom news.
Hey, you tricked me!
Who this week saw a trailer for Sonic Synergy?
Oh, I did watch that.
Sorry.
For those who aren't Sega Scourge, basically, a trailer was released somehow onto the wilds of the internet, which is basically a mock-up trailer, which includes a ton of early footage of Sonic before his finalized designs. For those who don't know, Sonic had fingerless gloves, and what was more gross was his fingers were like flesh-colored, but his arms were blue. So, like, what?
It's almost like they didn't give it much thought.
You could say that.
The thing that bothers me is that everyone all over the internet is seeing that footage, re-uploading it and saying, oh my god, Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric was going to be such a better game than the final product. It would have been so much better. And I'm like, what in this footage suggests that it would be better? Absolutely nothing.
To be fair, when I watched it, because I've never really played the game, it didn't occur to me that there was a bunch of stuff in there that isn't in the final game. It just looked like Sonic Boom to me.
It's just weird. The only thing I can say is different is it looks prettier-ish. Like, it looks more realised in terms of an engine. But the game
Sonic
looks
looks
the same.
brown, though. What's going on?
What's wrong with that?
Well, I mean, his skin color. It's
you
about
never
to
read
get
Fleetway?
controversial in here, Jamie.
Did you never read Fleetway?
Damn, you got me.
Actually, looking at his hands in the footage, the outside of his hands are blue.
Yeah, no, the top of his hands is fur, and then underneath, he's got like weird ape hands.
Oh, I did not.
They're very furry looking. I don't know what's going on.
And
Like,
also,
significantly.
did anyone watch the part of the trailer? You know, it introduces each character, and there's the bit where it shows Tails, and it shows like his intro animation, but his eyelids are like he looks so fucking stoned.
I know. Tails looks like... I mean, Knuckles and Tails look like fucking Care Bears, and like Sonic and the others look like Where the Wild Things Are, or something like that, because they're all really like furry. I hate those designs. Everyone's saying they're better. You're all wrong.
When you're collecting rings, but you're stoned as fuck? Is that what we're doing?
Yes. When you're Sega scared.
So was that intended to be in a trailer? That footage that was seen, even the Tails face.
I don't think
Because
so.
if so,
it
then-
looks very fan-made.
It does. It hurts.
It's probably more like, here's a pitch.
That's
So
what
if you're
I'm gonna
Sega,
probably
this is what we're doing. Yeah. Like, it would have always been redone and refilmed because it's still the same game. They worked on it. Of course, they're going to use newer, better looking footage for the final trailers.
I don't know. I don't know.
I forget, did we know it was called Sonic Synergy before?
Yes.
Yeah, the name was
Okay.
flying around the internet, I think.
Okay, because I thought it was, but I just couldn't remember. I couldn't
Yeah.
place it.
Um,
Do you like that more than Boom?
Well, yeah. Boom's a stupid name. It always has been.
Boom. Yeah, I don't get it. Moving on to the next news item now.
Whoa!
Wow. Talk about
Oh
delay.
god, Jesus Christ.
Don't die. The official Japanese websites for Sonic Mania and Sonic Forces launched this week, showing once again that Japan just generally always makes better websites than everyone else. Like,
They do, don't they?
they do. They just
Well, I
look
mean,
more
the
fun.
Forces website. The Forces website is like, everyone's hyping about it because it's just like you get a better look of that like city stage and the Death Egg Sentinels or whatever they're called. Everyone's calling them that, I think, on GameSpot and stuff. But the Mania website looks prettier in my opinion. It's very nice with the characters running around and stuff. It's a really well designed website. I like it.
I don't think I can think of one Sonic website that was better in the West than it was in Japan.
Hmm.
You know, I am hard pressed to think of one because every time it's flashier and prettier and yeah.
Yeah, it is. You're right. They just have more effort, I guess. Yeah.
Which is always odd to me, considering it's not the best seller over there, is it?
No, not really.
Yeah, Sonic has never been big in Japan.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I'm sure they would like it to be.
But the Japanese website is still pushing for Forces the Join the Resistance tagline, so
Hmm.
despite the
Odd.
game being called Sonic Forces, when it should have been called Sonic Resistance. Why did you call it Forces?
Because everyone already guessed Resistance. They wanted to be different.
So they changed the name to spite every single person, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
they ran in like a few minutes before the trailer went out. They were like, "This just in. Everyone's already guessed the name." Shit.
I mean, I'm trying to think if Sega's ever done that, but I do know companies that have purposefully changed something just because everyone guessed it and they were annoyed and wanted to spite everyone.
We know another time they did it. Sonic 06. It was called Sonic Adventure 3, but then everyone guessed it and had to change it. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm watching the Forces website now. I'm watching the footage that's in the background of these big egg robo, whatever the fuck they're called, things. And they don't seem very productive at doing anything. They look like they're yawning.
Yeah. I do like how they're like. Well,
You forgot to build legs on them.
The footage you're seeing has been slowed down. They're not actually that slow in the actual level.
That's true.
But like you can see they are swinging and shit and like aiming at, I don't know, hammer space gunners. I don't fucking know. Also, the bullets aren't creating sparks when they hit the metal. Worst game ever. This is not next gen. Kill this game. It's terrible. Bye. I'm
I think you should say what you think, Sketch.
Actually,
But no, in slow motion, because obviously it's got the little things firing at them, even though it's not actually hitting them at certain points, it's just hitting a huge box of nothing. The way they're moving around, it just looks like they're going, no, stop it, ow, stop it.
Right,
Pretty
so
much.
are they made of super thick metal? I mean, those bullets aren't doing anything, and it's just a constant barrage. Constant. Do you have a theory as to why that's happening?
me.
Yeah. Do you have a
As
theory
to-
about the metal being the construction?
I don't
The
know.
giant-
It's just it's made from. Currently trying to rack my brain for a some kind of substance in Sonic that's known for being unbreakable.
They're made from monk sticks.
Exactly. Exactly. That's it. That's it.
Their arms
That's
are
the theory.
just gigantic monk sticks.
The monk is made of a space-age polymer alloy that's so resilient that when the bullet hits it, it just slides right off the other side.
But
Can't
remember,
can't even
if
mind.
you inhale your egg robo, you must leave out through the nose.
Mhm.
I don't. What was the bat? What would happen if you didn't?
I don't know, it'd like kill you or something. You'd
Oh,
die.
okay. Well, that's a very dangerous product I gave you to review. I'm glad you survived. Right, next news item now.
Whoa!
Hello. Talking of Sonic Forces,
Oh.
you won't believe what, guys, but since the last episode, a new trailer was shown via Nintendo Direct.
And the internet went fucking crazy.
But for two reasons, and we're going to discuss this one first.
Okay.
New classic Sonic footage
Oh,
Mhm.
I did see that.
in Green Hills and Pyramid Zone.
It's,
Sand green zone hill.
it's green sand,
Act 5.
sand hill. There's a pyramid maybe.
I don't
It
know what's
doesn't look
going
as pretty as the Generations Green Hill.
Yeah, it looks like a downgrade.
Yeah, and I
It's-
think you could argue they're taking a new artistic direction, except everything else looks like the same artistic direction. So
Yeah.
I'm
It-
glad
it's sort
they
of-
chose Green Hill, because it really just forces home that this is not a sequel to Generations.
It's a remake. Wait,
Why can they not think of classic Sonic without pairing him with Green Hill? There are other levels to choose from. There are
Right,
lots.
like Emerald Hill
Or Hilltop
Panic.
Zone.
But this is the thing,
Hilltop.
right? So they can do a Green Hill type zone, like a beginning level, without it having to be Green Hill. Like Emerald Hill is a great example. It's basically the same level, but it's got a slightly different design to it. Like, everything's just slightly different. And they've been doing that for years. Why, when they bring this generation style gameplay, that they have to go, no, it has to look exactly like Green Hill Zone. Oh, but we'll add sand to it. It's a completely new level.
Yeah. I mean, it would be neat if it was like an actual sandy level. Like, instead of it just being like straight on Sandopolis sort of thing. If it was, you could do a thing where it doesn't look like Green Hill, but it's still like hilly and there's some green, but there's sand without it being Green Hill. There's a way to do it. I know there is.
The thing is, I wouldn't mind if this was, like, I don't know, the introductory part of Classic Sonic. I don't know, he's running through Green Hill, because apparently that's all Classic Sonic does. And then it turns out, as he goes into the level, that something's fucked up with all the sand and all that shit. And then he gets taken away to fucking go on adventures with his Mong stick to go find modern Sonic. But
I mean, that's how classic Sonic gets into the future. He uses the Monk Stick.
Exactly.
It's also, did you guys not know, it can travel through time. Its edge is so fine that
So
it can
that's
cut
the-
through the fabric of time and space.
It's the
that rhymed
8
as well.
time stone.
But which is fine if they want to do that. But it seems odd they would choose that as the snippet of gameplay, because it instantly sends out a very odd message that it's more of the same. Like, even if it's in the game and it's just like an introductory to the character, surely you would just say something different so you don't get accused of doing the same thing, which is what's happened.
Yeah. I mean, graphically, it's sort of in between Lost World and Generations, isn't it? Because
Pretty much, yeah.
there's that bit when he sees, like, I guess the choppers or whatever you want to call them. I know they have different Japanese names, but that looks very much like Lost World to me. That little bit there,
Pretty much.
but the scenery is a little bit better than Lost World, but it still isn't as good as Generations. And since
I am...
Mania has Green Hill in it as well, I just don't understand.
I know, it's very weird. To be honest, I am mostly, I was mostly questioning why the fuck there's sand in Green Hill. I mean, like, everything that is water is sand
It
now.
must play towards part of this fascinatingly strange plot we know nothing about yet. I
Right.
feel like it
Someone's-
can't just be like, oh, we just put sand in for no reason.
Well, a friend of mine suggested that maybe zones are merging together. So Green Hill is merging with like Sandopolis or something.
They're on different islands.
Well, I don't know. There's other deserts on South Island, I'm sure. Unnamed desert land zone.
I'm
One.
That's my favorite level.
No, it'd be Mirage Saloon, man. Actually, wait, that's more canyon than desert. Never mind.
There's sand in there.
You guys just talk amongst yourself. I need to do something.
Okay, cool.
Oh.
Let's talk more about Mirage Saloon and how amazing it is.
It does look pretty great. I need
does.
it. I need Mania. I think it's really. the
Also,
point.
now that Mania, would you consider Mania a
Mhm.
canon entry to the series?
Well, yeah. Why wouldn't it be?
Okay, so then, if Mania by because I believe it's canon too. So if Mania's canon, if we're gonna hypothesize it's canon, which it probably is anyway,
Right.
do the posters of Knack, Bean, and Bark thereby canonize them as characters in that universe as well?
Well, I would think so. Yes, because I mean those posters also exist in Generations, and I
That's
think
true.
Generations is canon.
But the thing that I've always wondered is the only game that they appear in is Fighters. Does that canonize Fighters?
I think it could, and I know that the sticking point the sticking point is the 8th Emerald, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
That's the only thing in that game that really causes a problem, because everything else, like you see Tails, he's sitting in his workshop, which looks pretty close to what we saw in Sonic Adventure. You know, we see lots of classic locations, a few new locations, kind of the semblance that there is this universe and they're hopping from place to place.
Yeah.
It's just that 8th Emerald.
I think it's the only reason it's in there is to balance out the character roster.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it too, and it might have also been before Sonic Team really was
Yeah,
a
pretty much.
stickler. You know,
Also, by the way, fun fact for the people in the chat who don't already know, but the workshop from Fighters is actually the workshop from LEGO Dimensions as well. Tails' workshop. It's the same one.
oh, is it really?
Yeah, they used the Fighters one. I was like, lol.
I didn't
Of
know
all
that.
the ones to choose from.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
I mean, I guess you could say like, am I getting weird vocally right now?
You're like, you seem ever so slightly poppily and crackly, and you went a little bit auto-tune for a minute. You turned into like Ice-T or something. Is it Ice-T? Who auto-tunes? I'm not with the kids these days.
Yeah, something happened. I just switched over to my phone mic.
Oh, T-Pain. There we go. That's what I was going for. Never mind. It took me a whole 5 seconds. Okay.
Something's weird. This happens sometimes with. Oh, I didn't have to restart the computer. Oops.
That's okay. God knows where Jamie's gone.
Yeah, he's just disappeared.
I'm
Yeah, yeah.
back.
Okay.
I guess
Is
that
that you agree
you
with
had
that?
some amazing discussion.
I think we went right off topic and onto canonicity and things. But you know what? It's because I'm here.
That's your bread and butter. Your milk and cream.
Anyway, shall I move on to the next news item?
Oh, right. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Is that you don't sound very motivated?
No, I want
Oh,
to talk
well-
more about how shitty Green Hill Zone is.
Right, and I was also going to get into how I think you could finagle an 8th Emerald in Fighters and make it super canon. But it's dead. It's over. We're moving on.
We'll come back to that another time, David.
Whoa!
Right. That wasn't the only thing we saw in that Sonic Forces footage. We also
no.
saw Bubsy the cat.
A yellow. Okay, yeah.
Oh man,
I was gonna say
Bubsy!
something else.
I'm so excited for Bubsy.
Yeah, it was. It was certainly.
Yeah,
a
Bubsy's in the
thing.
game.
We
was
also
Bubsy.
we all saw a new, mysterious, crazy silhouette of a thing. I don't really understand what happened. How are we all feeling? Are we excited? Are we curious? Are we?
It's Meme the cat.
It's meme the.
You asking us or the chat?
I'm asking you.
Oh, I mean, I don't care. It's just Sonic, man. Shit.
For the ones on the show. I mean, It definitely looks new. I know people were like, "Oh man, could it be something?" But aside from Bubsy, which sadly I'm pretty sure it's not, but I want it to be. I mean, new characters. I'm always kind of.
Oh wait, what just happened?
Oh, your mic's back! Yay!
That's what happened. Yeah, no, it's the what was I saying? I lost track. Oh, new characters. Yeah, I'm always kind of iffy about new ones because I feel like we got Blaze in 2005, and since then I haven't really been excited about a new character. And we haven't had a ton, to be fair, but like Silver didn't excite me. Deadly Six certainly haven't excited me. So I'm just kind of like, if they've put enough thought and effort into it, then I'm okay. But I sometimes wonder, and by sometimes I mean I've been wondering the whole time.
There's a lot of theories going around the internet of what it could be and stuff.
Yes.
No one can really point any of them out because like we're not going to know until later on down the road. But
right,
they're all very concerning. But we have had we did a poll on Twitter to go through some popular theories and see which one came out. It was a choice of 4. Yeah, people could say it was Blaze the Cat. People could say it was a revamped character. People could say it was a brand new character. And people could say it was Bubsy. So, what do we think the majority went with?
Brand new character?
Oh, I hope it's Bubsy.
Bubsy didn't win the poll.
Damn.
Aww.
He did come second place though with 20%. Behind after that was Blaze the Cat with 13 and a revamped character 8. 59 people want a new character.
Okay. Makes sense.
Another character added to the franchise.
Look,
there are a lot of characters in this franchise.
Are there really though? Like really? Like if we count them off, most of them aren't even in the games anymore. I don't mind insinuating that characters and friends of Sonic exist out there in the world somewhere, and they're all off doing their own thing in the grand scheme of things. And then every so often they pop in on the story and go, "Hey, remember me?" It's kind of like the Riders cast. They all just appeared and then disappeared. I don't mind that they exist though.
Those are other characters that I completely forgot existed and didn't.
Imagine if it turned out to be Wave the Swallow the whole time.
Oh, I'm okay with that.
She could swallow my wave any day.
Oh no!
I get it.
No. You're just a terrible person.
I guess when it comes down to it, it's when people say, "Oh, there's so many characters," it is a case where there's a lot of characters that aren't being used. So unless it's something really special, there's probably another character that you could use to fill in a role, and that would be a neat thing. So, I mean, if it is something different, something cool, something that wouldn't have worked with a pre-existing character, then I'll give it a pass. But if it just feels like, hey, we made a brand new version of Mighty, I'm going to be, oh, but there was no point to that.
People really want Mighty.
It's because he's old.
Yeah,
That's it. That's the only reason. People are like, oh, he's the most diverse character ever, even though he's literally a piece of wood with no personality.
He is the blandest character. So...
He's the blandest character in front of Heavy and Bomb from Knuckles Chaotix. That's about it.
They should get a spin-off game.
Yeah, yeah, I'd buy that.
So yeah, there's loads of theories out there. People think a whole bunch of things.
People think it's Heavy and Bomb.
Personally, I don't want to know what the character is. I just hope it's something good. And Sonic Team have given me no reason to doubt them ever.
You don't want to know anything about the character even after the game comes out.
Nope, not really. Right, but there's more news, guys. There's more news.
What?
Interesting. Who here likes to collect Sonic merchandise?
Occasionally. If I can afford it.
Who here likes to collect vinyl figures?
Ooh.
When they're not £200.
It's funny
Right,
you
there were those neat
mentioned that.
vinyl figures.
And First for Figures have hinted the future of the Sonic statues are at risk of cancellation.
Ooh.
Um,
That's a bummer.
Yeah, they frequently do live streams nowadays where they like promote their shite, and they basically said, guys, you need to buy the latest line, or there might not be any more because they're not selling as well. Which is a bit odd.
This is a scam. This is a scam.
But I've got 3 of them, but
It's a scam. I'm convinced.
It's not a scam.
Don't you think the timing is funny? It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna cancel it, but you should probably buy them all before they disappear.
No, but this is the thing. So they must. I must not be the only one who thinks it's kind of obvious that they aren't selling, because they're not sought after because you've released like a fuck ton of them. Like there's one of the classic characters, one of the modern characters, one of the villain. There's fucking dioramas now. You've I've said this in a post on Twitter, but I stand by it. You've oversaturated your own market by releasing too many products, and it's because it's such a high value product. You can't oversaturate it. You've got to make it something less often so people want it. When you're releasing them all the time, people won't buy all of them. Who wants to spend hundreds of dollars on Silver the Hedgehog?
But Jamie, don't you love me?
I will admit that Sonic's one of the subdivisions on their site that like has the most like sections. It's like Sonic Classic, Sonic Diorama, Sonic Modern. I mean, the only one ahead of them is the Zelda stuff, which there's, a shitload of. But yeah, they do make a lot of Sonic.
Exactly.
So a lot of Sonic.
If you pump out too much stuff, it becomes less desirable. Look at Sonic Riders. You just can't keep churning this shit out. So I'm not surprised personally that they would suggest this, but also they said that you've got people need to buy the silver one, and also they will be relying heavily on the sales performance of the 25th anniversary statue, which I really feel they should apologise that they're releasing the pre-orders for the 25th anniversary statue probably sometime during his 26th anniversary to be released during his 27th anniversary. So they might... Again, 25th anniversary statue, maybe it would sell better if you release it during the 25th anniversary.
It's fine, don't worry about it.
It's
vintage at that point, right?
It's just
you do realize all of these things come out of a 3D printer, right? Someone just pushes a button, it cuts out a piece of shit, and they sell it for £200, and you pay them £200.
Do you not have any?
Pressing a button on a machine, cutting out a piece of plastic.
I want to watch a stream where
Seriously,
they sculpt.
I will admit that there are elements of these figures that are sculpted by hand, and there are some electronics that are put in. But it's really all shit you pick up at the dollar store. You know what I mean?
I think
people spend outlandish prices on these things.
That's a real leap, to be fair. I think it's a bit harsh. Don't you know they stick LEDs in some of them?
Holy shit, LEDs! I mean, I don't own any LEDs. They are they're like fucking platinum and gold and shit.
They go round just ripping them off people's Christmas trees and shoving them in figures.
I mean, yeah, that's how they make them. Did you not see the documentary?
No, the last time I've been near the offices is when we sent Marcus to view their Princess Elise 7-foot tall one. Which releases the deadly neurotoxins in the exclusive.
Fuck yeah! Can we get that, please?
That's what I would buy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
LEDs
this
behind
segment.
your eyes.
Oh
Just turns her eyes red.
And they twinkle depending which Christmas tree light setting you have them on. Right. That's it for the news today. Thank God.
Is it?
We have a very special guest to discuss a very special fan game. For those of you who have been living under a rock, you may not know that today, after I think over a decade in the making, a much hyped fan game has finally come out. Sonic Time Twisted. And we've played it. It's on the Sonic Show channel. Tam has played it. The rest of you in the chat has played it. Sega Scourge has completed it already because he's just so eager. But we have the creator themselves here today. Thank you ever so much.
Sure, no problem. Glad to be here. Glad
David,
to be talking about Sonic Time Twisted.
It's a super cool game. David has been researching for weeks to ask you a variety of fan questions about this
Okay,
game.
so I didn't know you were gonna be in here until 6 minutes ago.
Yeah, I didn't know very much before then either, so it's okay.
All right, so I have got nothing right now.
But luckily, I do. I think first,
Okay.
let's start off with, for people who don't follow fan games and stuff, just tell the listeners just a little bit about what Sonic Time Twisted is all about.
Okay. So one of my favorite Sonic games is Sonic CD, of course. I'm sure I'm not another favorite Sonic game, which is Sonic 3. Again, I'm sure I'm not alone. So what I tried to do with Sonic Time Twisted is kind of like take a lot of ideas from both those games and sort of put them together and make a fan game out of it. So in the fan game, just like in Sonic 3, you travel, collect big rings and go to special stages and stuff. But there's a twist because in the stages there are time posts and you time to the past. And when you do that, you can collect time stones in the past special stages as opposed to Chaos Emeralds in the future. And so that really cements the time travel gimmick together in a way that some people say Sonic CD didn't, because there was you didn't really need to time travel at all to.
And it was annoying to do.
Yeah, you had to run fast. Whereas in Sonic Time Twisted, you do have to run fast, but
Only past the post.
Yeah, only past the post. Yeah.
And that's
So does that kind of clear it up? Give you guys an idea?
It does. I want to know what. I mean, obviously it's a fan game, and you know that you do a lot of work on your own. I know you did work with other people as well on certain parts and stuff. But I think is it 12 years in the making?
Yeah. I mean, I really started trying to make fan games probably in 2002 or 2001. And that was because I'd seen Sonic Robo Blast 2 and Retro Sonic and games like that. Also Stealth's game, which I forget the name of at the moment. Metrics, I think it is. So games like that really inspired me, and I was like, wow, people are doing this, and I could probably do it too. And I just always felt that, this fan game, so I just kept working and getting better. And in 2005, I actually gave it a name and had my first release, which was pretty horrible. You can go back and you can look up videos on YouTube or
I've
play
seen
the game. But I just kept progressing and kept getting better, and now here we are.
Obviously, you've worked very hard on this game and stuff. Is there any particular stage, gameplay gimmicks, anything that you're super, super proud of?
Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and say that the final boss I really like. That's an idea I came up with when I was driving across country, and I think it kind of fits in with the of Sonic while still being really cool. And I don't want to give away what it is, but I'll just say that.
Oh, I've been tempted to, but I didn't.
Don't do it.
I'm not going to, but I've been so tempted.
Yeah,
Because it's amazing.
I was
Thank you.
talking to someone, and I was like, "Oh man," because I played the first couple levels, and well, I've gotten up to the middle of, is it Frigid Fortress? Is that what it's called? The
I think
stone
so,
one?
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, is my okay? And I was like, I asked someone just like, "Oh, how is it like at the end?" And they were very insistent that they wouldn't tell me that it was something I had to experience on my own. So
That's fun.
yeah. So now I'm curious, but I haven't gotten there yet.
Um,
Well, Go ahead.
I mean, what's the biggest challenge in making a fan game? I mean, for me, it would be laziness.
Time management.
I'm kind of like I have a lot of anxiety, I suppose you'd say, and it makes me work a lot. So like I'm never not working. Like I'm working my job, I'm working a game, I'm working something else. So I don't get too lazy because I can't not or I can't not work. But I guess what is the hardest? There's so many things. I mean, there's so many tedious tasks. Like I remember spending a month compressing level tiles. That really sucked. There's just the bosses. A lot of them were tricky to do. I didn't program all of the bosses myself. The second boss, which everybody really likes, is by my friend Mercury.
Cool.
Bosses and stuff. Yeah, and he's actually the guy that made half the team. He made the engine for Sonic, but he made that boss, and he's an awesome programmer. But what I'm not awesome at is reading other people's code. So reading his code and putting it into the game, that took me like 3 weeks. Whereas when I wrote bosses of my own, they probably take like 1 or 2 weeks. I wrote. He wrote a lot of the boss for the second boss and then the third boss, which is Frigid Fortress's boss and Raging Rune's boss. I think most of the other bosses I did. I think they're all mine, but sometimes I forget things. It's a big game.
Obviously, with every fan game, there's the visual, but there's also the audio, and a soundtrack can really create an atmosphere and make a game. How did the soundtrack come about? Like, what was your creative process in working with that and making that come?
Sorry, there are people outside. Hinchy really, Zach Hinchy, who's big in the Sonic community. He's worked on a game called Legend of Doodle, and he did. I always forget the name, but he did a really cool. He worked on a really cool Sonic Generations mod too, I believe, and he did most of the music for the game along with Andy. I want to say Tunstall. You guys probably know. I forget names. I'm terrible with names, but he's one of the guys that worked on Sonic after his sequel. So I really mostly left it up to those guys to work on the music and just really focused on the gameplay and programming and graphics myself.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
And they did a fantastic job. I was listening to
another. I do want to mention though that another guy named Shadix, Jameson Sutton, maybe. This was such a spur of the moment thing. I always forget names. I'm horrible. I feel bad now.
That's his name. That's James's name. Alex,
Okay.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Sugar, whatever you want to call him.
But yeah,
Thought it
he
was
did a
X-Shade.
song for
I don't know.
Maybe it's actually.
I'm confusing myself because of Sonic Retro articles that are probably inaccurate.
Oh,
Sure.
Speaking of shade,
over 10 years of development, I can't remember everything. He
a
did
long time.
He did one really cool song though
How
for the intro.
how are you finding? Obviously, the game came out today. You've obviously sent out to a few people, so videos have already started going up. the reception I've seen has generally been positive. Are you really happy with how people are taking it?
Are you asking me if people are taking it?
Yeah, like, are you happy with the positive
No, more
reception?
so if people are happy.
Oh, am I happy?
I mean, yeah, are you happy? Ugh.
Yeah, for the most part, like there's this one boss that was like midway through the game in Drifting Dynamo that I think ended up being a little bit difficult. And I might secretly go back. In fact, I already did, and I made it. I don't want to make him a lot easier, but I'm gonna make just a couple little changes to make him just slightly easier. I tried to make all the fights against like Metal Sonic and maybe the final fights a lot harder than the other ones. So you might notice, because I wanted Metal Sonic to be like the big bad. So you might notice in the game where when Metal Sonic isn't a part of a boss fight, then it's easier.
Yeah,
Maybe.
the difficulty for me fluctuated, where the normal bosses I didn't have much trouble with. Well, me personally, I didn't. I kind of quickly worked out their gimmicks. But every time Metal Sonic appeared on screen, I got my ass kicked.
Yeah.
Like basically every instance. Like I won't go into details on any of the bosses for people who haven't got there, but every instance with Metal Sonic, be forewarned. As you said, it's made in a way. Did you say to make Metal Sonic more of a mainstay, a main point in the game?
Yeah, and some people don't like that, but I'm really stubborn on that point. So
It worked. I mean, yeah.
Damn, I think you're allowed.
Thank you.
So 12 years, you've finally released it. What's next for Overbound Games? Will there ever be another Sonic fan game, or is this it?
This is pretty much it for Sonic fan games. I have another game coming out, or well, I shouldn't say coming out because it's mostly in my head at this point. But I am working on another game called No More Robots, and it's not a direct sequel to Sonic Time Twisted because, of course, I want to expand beyond fan games and probably sell my games on Steam. Hopefully one day, maybe quit my job as a software developer someday. That's going to be like a 2.5D RPG side-scrolling game, which I guess the way I usually describe it to people is it's sort of like Sonic the Hedgehog meets Super Paper Mario. So I don't use the term Metroidvania a lot because I really don't like Metroidvania games, so I don't like those kind of games. But yeah, that's what's next for me is really working on that game, and I want to write my own music this time, so I'm learning to write music and lots of just behind the scenes kind of stuff that needs to go on before I really get going with that game.
Cool.
Scourge or David, do you have any questions of your own before we move along?
I do have one actually, but I'm worried that it gives spoilers for people who haven't played the bosses, so never mind. Damn it. Never mind. I'll post it on Twitter in a day or two when people have seen the bosses.
Maybe someday I can come. Maybe someday I can come back when it's been a little while and we can talk again.
A recap, yeah.
Spoil again.
Right.
All right.
Because I haven't played a ton of it yet, and I'm because I remember playing the demos a couple years back when it was at Sage, but it's also been a while since I played those and didn't. I knew the game was coming out soon. Someone told me that it was supposed to come out tomorrow, but then it came out today, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, that was kind of weird because I think I accidentally typoed it the 17th on one website, and it was already done. So I just was like, "Well, it's almost the 19th somewhere. Let's just do it."
Complained that something came out a day early.
Yeah.
Overbound, thank you so much for having the patience to chat with us today, despite your dodgy internet connection. Can you tell our lovely listeners where they can find yourself and your work?
Okay, I'm active on Twitter, very active on Twitter at just Overbound. And I also have a website, overboundstudio.com, and a YouTube channel, which I think the address is just Overbound/users, or I'm sorry, YouTube/users/Overbound or something like that. But it shouldn't be hard to find if you look up on YouTube. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
No
It has been a
problema.
pleasure. It's been so nice. Thank you for sparing your time to chat with us. And guys, if you haven't played the game, check it out. Very rarely do fan games get finished. So please download and enjoy. We are going to go for a musical break, and then we will have a bit of a chit-chat. On the other side, we're going to play, in fact, some tracks from Time Twisted. So we will see you guys on the other side. Woohoo! Go on.
That first song you played was that was the Metal Sonic theme, I believe, from the game. Did you?
Yes.
Did you? What is it? The dun 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 dun, dun, that one. You're playing it as
Do
the
you
first song.
mean this one?
Yeah, that one.
Yes.
Basically, did you know that as far as I'm aware, that entire song was inspired by a YouTuber called Cubed to the Hex, which released the same tune and song, like the same exact song, in 2010. Of course, this version that you just played has been like resampled and is like recreated, but the tune and the beat and everything, tempo, is exactly the same as a YouTuber called Cubed to the Hex. And as far as I'm aware, he is not even aware that his song is in Sonic Time Twisted. Apparently, they just copied and pasted it.
What?
Sources.
Yeah.
Sources.
Hang on, I'm gonna send it. I'll send it to you right now. Hang on, let me find it on YouTube. Hang on, I was just on the page. History. Listen to the song.
We're
And
going to do it
compare
side by side, live.
Okay, here we go. Hang on, I'm sending it to you right now. There it is. That's the song. Metal Sonic appears. Cube to the Hex. It was a music proposal that he made when Sonic 4 Episode 2 was coming out, or like what he imagined it would be if they made a Sonic 4 Episode 2. And he made this tune, and it ended up being what we hear in Time Twisted.
I hope.
But if you read the comments
after having
below,
our guest
you will
on,
see
you're
that
not
he doesn't
trying
know.
To be a dick.
No, I'm not trying to undermine him. I just want to know, because I mean, let's be real. Like
let's have a
Overbound
listen.
said.
So
No.
this is
Okay.
what the track sounds like in Time Twisted. Okay, let's have a listen to this. I mean, it's pretty
What I tell you? What I fucking tell you?
Yeah.
In all fairness, though, Overbound probably, like he said, Zach and she was like left entirely to the soundtrack, so he probably has no idea what was going on in terms of the soundtrack. He just probably accepted the songs. But yeah, I want to know what's going on with this, because this is kind of the oddball on the soundtrack right now. I'm assuming they might have attempted to contact Cube to the Hex,
So Cube to
and
the
maybe
Hex,
he didn't respond.
Someone commented on his track saying, "I heard this in the Time Twisted demo. Are you the composer for that game?" Cube to the Hex replies, "You did? That's news to me. Do you know what it was used for? I'm curious." This person comments, "It's used for the Metal Sonic bosses." And the person said, "Wow, I had no idea, or I don't remember having a conversation. YouTube has changed their messages, so I can't find anything on it. I'm sure someone asked me at some point." That's pretty cool. So he seems pretty cool about it. So
If he's okay with it, then there's no problem. I just wanted everyone to know that he's the original guy who came up with that tune, so there you go.
Well, there you go. Little songs from everyone everywhere. That's what we're talking about. Sonic the Hedgehog, blue and cool like the planet.
Now that we've had, and again, we thank obviously so much to Overbound for coming on, having a chat with us despite his technical difficulties.
Indeed, go and play that game, and look out for a cameo of yours truly.
No, please tell me not.
Seriously,
What,
I'm in the game.
You're in Time Twisted?
I am, yeah, go find me.
What do you mean you're in Time
As
Twisted?
in, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just saying, I'm in Time Twisted.
Like you show up and you say, "I've got a theory for you, Sonic the Hedgehog."
I am in a level. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm so confused.
It'll be on Twitter eventually, so keep your eyes peeled.
But we need to crack on, so let's just do this quickly.
Warning, the following segment contains opinions. Try not to be triggered. It couldn't be an opinion zone without opinions after all. Talking of which, today's topic of drivel is...
Our actual thoughts on Sonic Time Twisted now the creator has left the chat.
Oh my god. Now we're undermining him.
No, because, I think we've all played it, but we got to give our honest opinions. It is the opinion zone. I'm going to start off with Mr. Sega of Scourge, since you're the one who's completed it. What were your overall feelings of...
Well, unlike Sonic fan games out there, such as Sonic before and after the sequel, where obviously I loved them, they are fantastic, there were elements of them that made them feel modernized. Like, too modernized, and some of it didn't really appeal to me. That's just me. Obviously, before and after the sequel are great games. With Time Twisted, from beginning to end, having played it in full, there was not a moment where I wasn't, having fun. I was constantly having fun playing Time Twisted. Every boss was cool and imaginative. Every stage was cool and imaginative, especially some of the later ones. Like, the last 2 levels are still my favorites because of how outlandishly imaginative they are. And I don't want to spoil anything, like I said, for the finale of the game and things, but that take goes off in a completely unexpected fucking direction. And that basically there's a lot of wow factor in the game. And especially if you're a classic Sonic fan, then it completely delivers in that field as well. Because it has, one-to-one recreations of Sonic on the Genesis kind of controls. All the levels feel like they belong in a classic Sonic series game. This is kind of this is what we should have had as a Sega Saturn launch title. But that's in a far superior universe to our own. But yeah, I love it. I give it the 10 out of the 10.
10 out of the 10. David, you've played a little bit of the game.
I played some of it. I haven't finished it. Right.
Obviously, I know you have a lot of opinions on fan games because of working with Retro, and no one can deny working on your own fan game.
Secure me a position in that one, please.
That's a game I have a cameo in, but we'll never see it because it may never come out. So.
It's
obviously,
coming.
we know that you're
face.
while not involved in the development of Mania, you are close to people and in the whole world of that thing. Because, that a lot of people in that project are connected to the community.
Right, like Christian Whitehead.
Exactly.
Hello.
So,
yeah.
Where do you stand on Time Twisted? What are your thoughts?
I've had fun with it so far. I mean, I really need to play more to get a fully in-depth sort of. I mean, there's some neat bits and pieces. I don't know. I got a kick out of how there's those platform there's the 3 twirling platforms, but one of them is a spiked ball. I was like, oh, that's cool. Snowboarding confused me a little bit.
Oh, you mean the endless fall?
Yeah, because I didn't realize it was endless at first until it started becoming endless. And I went, wait a minute, this isn't... Because I know it's yeah, or ice cap.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, there's one little thing. I've only gotten into one special stage so far. And I was having a conversation about special stages and how to access them and things. Because Sonic & Knuckles came out in 1994. That's over 20 years ago. And, I know how to get to them all. And playing Time Twisted, I've only found one ring so far. And it's that sort of question are they all hidden too well? Or is it because I'm so familiar with a game that I've been playing for 20 years?
I went out of my way to find some of them, but for the most part, I bumped into them by accident.
I was going to say, I didn't have much... I mean, I found more than one.
Yeah, well, that's
Okay.
what I'm
Well,
saying.
I mean, like I
there's
said, I've
this-
only gotten into the third level.
and I
Like,
wasn't
there's a
going
hint
out. I
that I
wasn't
give a
going-
lot of people. I'm sorry, everyone's talking at once.
No, I was just going to say I found a few, and I didn't go out of my way to look for them. So
Well,
Okay.
the hint I give to people is that like they're usually in walls and they're usually in high places sometimes, not every time, but like I always say to people, if there's a wall next to you and you're coming off of a spring, just like hold towards the wall that's next to you, just in case
Yeah.
you go into it, at the peak of your spring. That tends to help people find them. But no, a few of them were dickily placed. A few of them troll you, actually. Like one of them I know makes it look like there's a bottomless pit right below it and that you can't reach it by any means, but actually there's a path down there. And the camera just doesn't show you. So you kind of have to take a leap of faith.
Those are always fun.
I know. Like, I exhausted every other means to get to it, and then finally it was just like, fuck it. And then I was like, oh, I'm alive.
The only thing I think needs, well, I wasn't thrilled with was the encounters with Metal Sonic. I remember the first one. I was just like, I don't know.
Keeps on hitting you.
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
It's just like it didn't. All the other bosses seemed to have a pattern you could quickly identify, whereas this one it was a bit like even when you worked out the pattern, it wasn't instantly intuitive how to avoid, and it was just like, it frustrated me. I got frustrated.
Yeah.
But the other bosses
It was a bit
are great,
difficult.
and the general level design I think I do enjoy. Sometimes when you play fan games, especially when Sage releases them, it looks like a Sonic game mostly, but the level design's just a little bit amateurish and off, and it just doesn't feel as fun. Whereas
I don't know, man. I like the level design.
No,
I know it's just me.
I'm saying you can get that feeling, but I'm saying this is an exception where actually the level design was enjoyable.
Oh, sorry, I got you completely.
Right. Well, if you hadn't left and come back, maybe you would have heard the beginning.
Sorry.
So, no, but like I say, I think its level design is thought out. There's different there's very multi-level design. There were some bad nicks that I was a bit like, okay. But on the whole, I really enjoyed it. And I think for a game that's just been worked on in someone's spare time for so long, it's so impressive what you put out in the end.
It is really good. I'm putting something in the chat, by the way. Stephen found me, Jamie. Go look.
What? That's not canon. Not canon.
Why are you in the game?
I'm making theories, man. And this is how I get my theories. I go into the games.
Go into the game, you see 2 extra lives and is it a windshield?
It's a windshield, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, you found me. I have 2 extra lives and a windshield.
We need to.
You
we
like
can't just
the
leave
windshield
this
a
rest.
bit then.
How did you get involved in this? You ended up being in the game.
Wait, sorry, what? I didn't hear that.
How did you get involved to a point that you've got a cameo?
I can't remember, honestly. I think I talked to Overbound like a year ago, and he got back to me only recently and was like, hey, do you want to be in the game? And I was like, okay. And he like watches my stuff, and he's a fan of like my Metal Sonic theory. And obviously Metal Sonic is like heavily influenced in the game and all that. So we was like, oh yeah, it makes perfect sense you'd be in the game. And I was like, okay. And there you go. I'm in the game.
So
I love it.
are you the
That is just fucking strange.
Are you the only fan in this game? Are there other
As
like,
far
fan cameos?
as far as I know, I'm the only one, but don't quote me on that.
Well, officially now the worst fan game of all time.
Because I mean, it would make a little more sense if it was like, oh, Christian Whitehead's hiding out in a corner, and Stealth is in a corner, and you're in a corner, and maybe Jamie's in a corner or something. But if it's just you,
It's just me, man. Everyone's got to start somewhere. This is me.
Semi-famous Sonic theorist.
Shh. Look, it's classic me. It's when I was good and before I got my redesign.
Before you start smoking Monk.
Yeah, it was before I started smoking and I didn't have facial hair.
right before the age of 10. So that's interesting. Oh, I have a question. How did both of you feel about the special stages then? You okay with that?
I
mean,
want to say I like them only because it's probably the most original idea I've seen for a fan game approach to a special stage. Because most of them, they generally copy something that's already been done before. Which is like, you race against Metal Sonic. I think they were a bit... I didn't struggle... I haven't collected all of them like Scourge. Maybe the difficulty curves up, but so far it seems pretty piss easy.
Okay. No, I was just
I'm
curious.
Not sensing a lot of challenge.
So I was thinking about how most fan games either just never touch upon it because they never get finished, or it's like the same thing you've always seen, or they do something weird like, oh, it's Sonic and he's running, and it's not really different from the rest of the game.
Well, I mean, the level design, the special stage level design does like to get a little bit wacky later on in some of the later levels. It likes to throw badniks all over the place, really douchey ones, but spikes everywhere, massive alternate pathways to take. And I do kind of like that. The thing is at first I was like, when I first saw it, like within the first few seconds, I was like, oh my god, it's Knuckles Chaotix, oh god. And then I started playing it, and I was like, oh wait, that's actually pretty good. The only gripe I have is that I personally found that the controls were really jittery. Like you turn left and he barrage to the left. You know what I mean?
It's difficult when you're doing something like that with a D-pad, and it's just...
Exactly. It's like it was designed for a D-pad. I was playing it on a controller, and it was very snappy. It was very snappy. Like there was only so many directions you could choose from. It wasn't perfect, like turning and things. It felt fine for the most part, but there were a few moments where the controls dicked me up so much that I like flew off the course. Yeah, but I think the most lives I wasted, because you can spend lives obviously to retry the special stages. For those who don't know, I think the most I wasted was 10, and that was only on special stage 7. I'm talking for the time stones, like basically special stage 14, the last one I did. I wasted 10 lives. Other than that, though, they're pretty easy.
Well, you had 2 right there in your cameo, so I guess you're okay.
Whoops.
I can't believe you have a cameo.
It's so weird.
Isn't it cool, though?
Is it animated?
Look, it's a little me. Look at my little fucking 16-bit me. Or 32X, I don't know.
Definitely 16-bit. So we're gonna go for a quick musical break. In summary, I think something about me is happy when these sort of projects get finished. I just love it so much when they actually finish.
The warm, fuzzy feeling.
Hint, David. Hint.
It's gonna get done, I promise.
What? December last year, like promised.
That's fine, it's gonna get done, I promise.
It's fine. You've released a trailer, so I guess...
Yeah.
I guess that shows something.
And I didn't even bring it up.
No, I forgot to cover it. Never mind.
Oh, we'll cover it after the break, right?
I'm gonna delete this so it doesn't go on Twitter.
Oh, am I gonna whine about something next week? Or not this week? Or...
Probably. We will
after
go...
the break. I don't know.
Anyway, we are going to...
Look at this. Oh, yeah.
Hey!
We're going to read some quick messages. For those of you who don't know, you can go on thesonicshow.org/the opinion zone, and there's a variety of different buttons you can click. And some of you don't use the buttons correctly and just use the buttons to send us random stupid shit. So I thought, well, I'm going to I collect that random stupid shit, and I'm now going to share it now. And we're going to have a little chit chat. Who doesn't like a chit chat? Everyone loves a chit chat. I mean,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Really?
I love chatting.
You do it very well. Right, let's get on. Annoyingly, some of these questions are asked towards people who aren't here. So, in that case, Scourge is going to do an impression of the person and answer the question on their behalf.
What?
Cool. First question. Here we go. I've lost the thing. There it is. Right. First one. I recently got back into the show and noticed that most of the hosts have changed. Where did Scourge, David, and Nicole come from? And what on earth happened to Fuad, Tanner, Donnie, and Tom? It-
Good
it is
question.
really weird, considering this show has been going on for a fair few years now. I genuinely sometimes forget there was a time when they all existed in the show. Like, it feels like a
Yeah, I think I
completely
only knew
different
them.
era.
Yeah. It was the
Yeah.
classic era.
The classic era.
But, oh
This is the
no,
modern era.
I'm Sonic Show. What have I
modern.
done?
Yeah.
It's just weird to think there was like Fuad's things and Defeat Donnie and
I think I met Fuad a grand total of once. Literally once. The first time I was on the show.
so
Oh.
yeah. To answer what happened to them all, Tom.
They died.
Tom, yes.
Yeah, they're all
He was
dead.
tragically dead. No, Tom. Tom
Moved to Japan.
moved to Japan. Donnie just stopped showing up. Tanner is busy.
He was sad of getting bullied by Jamie.
Yeah,
You can always ask him nicely to come back.
well, I think I burnt that bridge if anyone saw our Twitter argument yesterday. Twitter drama. Tanner is busy learning to be a teacher because apparently he's allowed near children now. And Fuad unfortunately got a job that conflicts with the airing of this show, so it means he can't
Damn.
do the live show.
So you could renegotiate a time to bring him back.
I mean, no, because we stick to the hours we've got. Don't
Exactly.
exactly. As for where David showed up by just guesting for about 10 weeks
It was fine.
and then became a regular, and we're obviously more than happy to have him
It's kind of like how we had Pete on for a while and then he didn't become a regular
on. Yeah.
for reasons unknown.
And I don't know how Scourge became part of the podcast.
Oh, I fucking know. I sent you an email.
I know
And you were
that's
like-
how you got on the YouTube channel.
I can't remember. You were like, look at that up and coming channel. I want some of that. I want some of them views. You were like, and then you were like, come on, our failing. I'm joking. I love this show.
Well, I was gonna say it's got when you sent me that original message, you were so modest and kind.
And then now you know me for real.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Nicole, I don't know either.
I don't. Well, actually, Nicole was. You remember that thing where we used to have people on from the audience,
That was
and then we
it.
stopped doing that because we realized that the audience can be really weird sometimes.
Oh yeah. Oh.
What?
So like she was one of the people who you had on regularly, and then more than regularly. Like so, you asked her to be on, and then you just decided, okay, she's a member of the show now. So there you go. That's that question answered.
Wait,
yeah.
who was on? Who from the audience was in here? Because I know Defeat Donnie people would come in.
A lot of people came in.
Defeat
Yeah,
them.
it was mostly for Defeat Donnie.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I don't know. If
Nicole
there's...
came on a few times since she did. Then she did Sonic Reacts, and then she did that,
Mhm.
and then she met Scourge, and then
Mhm.
and then the Sonic show is to blame for all their happiness,
Exactly.
and all their eventual upset when they leave each other.
all of the.
All that,
When they-
all that
just the
malt
suing.
smoking. So, next
Gonna
question:
break you up.
will you guys ever do a meetup in the UK? No.
Wait, what?
I don't think there's a large enough audience for the show to arrange a meetup with you guys. I could be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong. I'm pretty confident that would be a no. Who knows? Maybe
Well-
if we ever get to 100 episodes, we could do like a
Jamie,
episode.
I
together.
mean, that's unfair.
Summer of Sonic Show.
You have to do it because, like, you met that one guy in Bright. You got to do it for everyone else now.
That's true. And he's not even a Sonic fan. He's a Crash fan.
Exactly. It's not fair. Everyone else are being gypped, man.
That's true.
You got to do a meetup.
Okay, well, we'll put that on the back burner. Maybe we'll do it one day. Next question: where is Poxy? He's been on like 2 episodes this year. Let me just ask him
You
now. Oh wait, he didn't show up again. So he has a lot of stuff going on. He's doing uni. He's got work. He's got a girlfriend that is in a different country, and he faps over the internet to her. So
Fucking hell.
they-
Jesus Christ, did we really have to get that in?
So he, he's got a lot going on, but he will be here as much as he can, and he is not going the way of Donnie. He is still on the show. Don't worry, he is coming back. Next question: why doesn't Sega Scourge have his own segment yet? Like, what's wrong with him?
Wait, no one asked that question. You asked that question.
No, there's a genuine question. Not everyone needs a segment. That's not how the show works. If you're
Exactly, I don't want a segment.
If you're really special, we tried to do a segment with him where he made up theories on the spot.
Well, I didn't.
And we learned never to do it.
Well, that's because Jamie forced that on me, and I didn't fucking want it. I don't want a segment. I want to just be a member and talk shit about things.
If every member of the show had a segment, it would have to be like 5 minutes long to get it all in between musical breaks. So just enjoy the David segment and the Poxy segment and shut the fuck up.
Trust me, it's more fulfilling listening to me try to sabotage the show than me having my own segment.
And we got 3 minutes. Let's start. Next question: why did this is so dumb? Why did Nicole stop farting? So for those who don't know, Nicole had a habit of very badly sampled flatulence on the show. Just like all gags, some gags have to stop. Some bits run their course, and then we think,
exactly.
Well, we don't have to continue it. However, if there's enough demand, I'll bring it back. But no, for the moment, her bottom's closed. Similar question. Someone else asked, where is the Trump soundboard? He got elected, it wasn't funny anymore. It became sadly, depressingly true. Next question. So, did Donnie officially get defeated? Was there a conclusion? Nope. Next question. No, there was no conclusion to defeat Donnie. I think it's safe to say, if you tally up the scores, he was pretty much defeated. I think he won.
But you'll find out in the upcoming Defeat Donnie movie coming later this year.
Yeah.
You can bring it back for one more defeating.
Again, I don't know that's going to happen.
On the Sonic show.
See last night's Twitter discussion. Thank you. And the last one, which I thought was really sweet, was thank you all for doing this show. I love it so much. Do you listen to any other podcast yourselves? Yes, I do. But I will let David answer it first, if in case he does. Do you listen to podcasts, David?
Occasionally. I listen to... I don't know if anyone's interested in the podcast I listen to.
No, this is what I'm going to say. The ones I'm not listening to are all pretty gay.
Like, I listen to, like, Star Wars podcasts. I like listening to Steel Wars. I like listening to The Weekly Planet. I listen to a podcast called Hey Kids Comics, which is about two British guys who read comics. Well, a kid is a father and son. And then there's a Superman podcast called From Crisis to Crisis that I listen to that sometimes gets updated and sometimes doesn't. Oh, and I guess there's that other Sonic podcast I listen to.
So,
those guys.
I listen to, I'm going through my subscription for it now. I listen to my podcast. I listen to, I listen to a podcast that reviews Disney films called We Want the D.
That's name.
It's really good. I listen to a podcast about a bunch of ladies who talk about lady things called Lady to Lady. It's actually quite good if you're into feminism. And I listen to Your Two Show, which is another Sonic podcast. And then I just listen basically to either Disney podcasts or podcasts about politics because I'm super fun. I'm like a super fun person. Scourge, do you listen to anything or are you just listening to your own imagination?
I don't listen to podcasts. I mean,
but
other than the opinions,
the shit. Exactly.
You should be like, I listen.
Though, I like have like when I have time to do shit on like the computer and stuff, and like I will edit, and I cannot have a voice in my ears when I'm trying to edit. I'm not going to waste that time listening to a podcast.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, it's the end of our show. Thank you ever so much. We are running over, so we need to hurry up now. Sonic Show is going to be in the outro. Sega Scourge, you can follow at
Super Scourge 300 on Twitter.
And on YouTube
Bitch.
No YouTube plug?
Oh, I don't know. People already know me at this point. The Sega Scourge, the Sonic Theorist, YouTube.
You're so fucking...
Go listen to some theories and call them wrong.
Everyone already knows where I am. David the Lurker, you got a thing?
Right, at DT Lurker on Twitter, at Sonic Retro or sonicretro.org, and then I guess the Big the Cat, Big's Big Fishing Adventure 3. Oh, I guess the Twitter of that is at Big's Fishing Adv 3, but I don't really write on there. That's somebody else.
That's fine. We will see you guys next week. We'll have some more people, and we're going to get in some Sonic Forces discussions of theories and stuff. I'm sure Sega Scourge will have a fucking theory boner for that episode. We will see you guys then. We love you all so much. Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to The Opinion Zone, brought to you by Audio Boom. Don't forget to check out our page at audioboom.com/channel/The Sonic Show. And leave us a comment. You can also interact with us at any time on Twitter by tweeting at Sonic_show. Until next time, by which I mean whenever Jay can be bothered again. Stay safe and please leave Froggy alone.
Come on, let's go. Hey, yo, it's the Sonic Show.